So if you've been following my story as of late, then you know it's been a pretty rough year and a half. So I've been documenting it. As you know, I'm a millennial, and if I did not document it on social media, then I'm not even sure that it happened. Which, honestly, considering the brain fog, isn't really a joke. Anyway, so I have been on Instagram for years now. I'm honestly not even sure how many. But frankly, it just kind of feels like the place where I feel most open and vulnerable and comfortable sharing things where I feel those ways. Or at least it has been. Honestly, I'm really hoping that you guys can't hear my computer just like whirring up really fast. I think I might need a new one. I'm really hoping this shit doesn't crap out. Instagram has been where I have felt comfortable sharing things, at least until recently. And that's for a couple of different reasons. So let's go through them. First and foremost, and most recently, is the fact that Instagram, for a subset of its users, has launched this Reshare sticker, and they're testing the feature. According to them, the whole reason that they want to do this is so that people will be encouraged to create more original content to share on their stories, because that's what they have heard that users want, even though every time they have experimented with the ability to share from your feed to stories before, people have been outraged at it, and for very good reasons. Let me demonstrate. If I am on my Minute Marker YouTube page, this is where I share photos of watches and sometimes outfits, so go follow that if you're interested. The process of sharing something from my feed is as simple as hitting the little paper plane share icon and then hitting share to my story. If I want to do the same thing in my personal Instagram account, it just doesn't work. That option isn't there once you hit the little paper airplane icon. And the only way that you can actually share something, the way that I've done it in this screen recording, is by using this photo from No Maintenance. But I end up having to save it to my saved photos, and then go take a photo to share that to my story. And then on top of that, I can add the share sticker, which will then let me pull up a recently used photo, such as something that I've saved, and voila, something that used to take 2 steps now takes too many. I don't know if I need to explain to anyone how this is kind of ableist. I really need to work on a video to explain like what spoons are and how and what it's like to live life as a chronically ill person, especially in terms of like energy and stuff. And energy fatigue, that was the word I was looking for. But yeah, because of how absolutely difficult it has become to share anything on my personal account, I've really barely been using it at all. I pretty much shifted all of my attention to my Minute Marker account, and that hasn't been intentional whatsoever. That is not where I want to be. I would much rather be on my personal account, because I'm really struggling to care about watches and fashion at all lately, because the world is burning. Anyway, that's that. Blah, blah, blah. What used to take 1 to 2 steps now takes like 5 to 10, and it's just too damn many, and it is extremely ableist, because a lot of these platforms are used by disabled people, disability activists, as a means of spreading awareness and spreading content, and you can't share messages quickly and efficiently when you are stifled this way by processes being intentionally made less efficient. That may be something that wouldn't affect an able-bodied person in the same way, but it's something that really does get in the way of disabled people each and every day. And frankly, I am proof of that. And the fact that I don't really use my Instagram account anymore is proof of that. So, you know what? I'm kind of done with Instagram. Instagram, if you want me back, fix it. Next reason why I'm kind of done with Instagram. They keep changing the algorithm. Yes, I understand that the algorithm also changes here. It changes every so often. changes pretty frequently at that too. But that's exactly why I'm going to ask you to keep doing all the things like, comment, subscribe, share this video with a friend who would like my face. Oh god, I'm such a tool. Anyway, regardless of the fact that the algorithm changes every so often, what I'm finding so far is that Instagram just does generally a better job of pushing my content out to other people and bridging the gap between the people who are looking for the content and the people who are creating it. And really, I guess that's because it is a search engine in a way that the other social media platforms just aren't. When there's something that I want to know, I'm generally going to YouTube to look up tutorials. But so talking about how YouTube does a better job of pushing my content out really matters, especially as someone who is chronically ill and disabled. It takes so much energy, time, and effort that goes into every single one of these videos and even every single photo that I've taken, especially for the Minute Marker account that has been, at this point, pretty much a year and a half of really focusing on photography, lighting, and all sorts of things when I've had nothing else to do. And for all of that effort, there is definitely a diminishing return on Instagram, where it feels like the more effort I put into something, the less reach there is. Instagram right now seems to be trying to appeal to the lowest common denominator, and it is extremely frustrating, especially for photographers who are on the... To clarify, I am not a photographer at all, but this is something that I've heard, that I have seen be spoken about in videos by creators like Chris Howe. I think maybe Peter McKinnon said something about it. But basically, Instagram just really isn't conducive to what photo creators do anymore. And that brings me to this next point, which is Instagram just isn't a photo sharing app anymore. They said this themselves. I don't know if it was in a press release or if it was in an interview. I'll try and put up the source up here somewhere. But Instagram has made it clear that their future is in video, which honestly leaves a lot of photographers without a place to go. I feel like as I've fallen more and more in love with taking photos, I want to be someplace where I can share those and where they get seen. And I really don't think Instagram is that place anymore, which is a really odd thing to think about because that's entirely what the platform started as. All right, and the last point is because my therapist said so. Okay, so here's the deal. I have felt very stifled creatively. Frankly, my depression has been through the roof. In many ways, I feel like I've been really grappling with this sense of purpose and struggling to find a reason to continue living, which sounds super morbid, but it's legitimately because life has become this endless series of just spending so much time on hold with pharmacies and insurance people and doctors' offices that it really feel like don't give a fuck about my health and whether I get better or not. It's exhausting. Like, it just feels so exhausting to have to expend so much energy every single day just on the bare minimum and scraping by, because there's very much this sense of I know I'm meant for so much greater than this, but I just don't have the energy to apply to that because I'm taking things so day by day and it has become so mundane and boring and exhausting and I just don't want to do it anymore. So yeah, that is where I'm at. I know that it's dark. I am sorry. But anyway, my therapist thinks that I should try to find myself again. Which means just trying to be truly honest and vulnerable and open about what I'm going through, whether that be with myself or with others around me so they can understand what this is like and perhaps be more empathetic towards others going through this, and trying to find some community that is supportive of me and everything that I'm going through. And frankly, as a disabled person, social media has allowed for connection and reach in a way that simply hasn't been possible for a lot of chronically ill and disabled people in the past, but that requires a first step towards vulnerability, towards honesty, not just with an audience, but with myself. So, you know, if you want to come along for the ride, please do. I would really appreciate it, and I would really appreciate your company. But this is me taking that first step of trying to be more vulnerable and be more honest, even more so than I have been doing. A big obstacle that I've been trying to overcome is this fear of being on video again when I just don't have the energy to basically kind of do myself up and look decent every time I want to be on camera, when that just isn't an option anymore. So as best as I can, I'm gonna slowly start breaking that barrier down too, and we'll see how that goes. But anyway, on that note, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. There is more where all of this came from on my YouTube channel, and I guess now also my TikTok, and maybe Instagram if I feel up to it. Let's just say my relationship with that place is a little bit toxic, a little bit complicated, but we're figuring it out. Anyway, thank you so much for being on this journey with me. If you watched till the very end, leave me this emoji in the comments. But thank you for your time, thank you for your energy, and until the next one, peace.